Recently it dawned on me that all my characters wear clothing, except for I. So from now on I'm going to wear this hat. Wrestling has never been a thing that I've followed, but recently the concept has intrigued me. No, not the idea of it being about two sweaty, middle-aged men play fighting in their tighty-whities, but a general idea of sports being scripted to benefit its entertainment value. My little knowledge of the WWE comes from Dan Nerdcube's videos on one or two of their licensed games, and I also remember him bringing up once that he hates football, but if it were to be scripted so that at half-time a rival team could enter with their theme music blasting to beat the Wayne Rooneys out of the oppositions with chairs, whilst elbow dropping off of the crossbars, things could be a little more exciting. So yeah, the idea intrigued me. Should I start watching it? No, because that costs money. Should I buy one of the licensed wrestling games that has been greatly reduced in price because the most recent editions are a lot more shiny, thus leading to a pointless semi-animated video about a slightly dated wrestling game from a guy that doesn't know shit about wrestling? Yeah, I should. For some fucking reason. I did a bit of research before diving in and learned that the game's Universe mode is a career-style game mode including rivalries, stories and championship matches which basically simulates the action of the WWE. I also learned that you could do this all with a created character, so I went off and did that thing. You know how in Saints Row the Third you could make a guy an incredibly muscular red Russian woman or a cockney bloke with a silly hat? You could do that too in a character creator of WWE 12, but 20 times more stupid. No, seriously, it's fucking scary. You can alter the measurements so that your character becomes less resemblant to a human being and more so to a fucking cheese grater. It's scary. Seriously, it's weird, and the most normal thing I could possibly make was a chap who was simply called fucking awesome, and he was incredibly small with black hair and blue skin, and oh my god, he looked like a fucking navvy. So I gave fucking awesome a so-called move set, and I was impressed by how involved you could be with deciding each and every move you can give your wrestler. There's loads of animations of punches, takedowns and kicks, and it's all very nice of THQ to give you so many options in order to craft how a character acts in the ring. I chose one of the pre-made movesets and got going, and oh my god was the fighting odd. I was up against a chap called The Big Show, which is a semi-misleading title since he, in fact, it wasn't a show, but he was in fact big and tall and oh my god he's terrifying, get him away. I said it was weird because after avoiding him for a few seconds he did in fact grab me before tossing me to the ground and it looked like it hurt like hell. But then immediately after my guy stood back up, fit as a daisy, only to be grappled and thrown back down again, like a fucking ragdoll. But once more he would get back up to his feet. Sorry, but are these ridiculously big throws not hurting my guy much? He's taken these throws like a fucking boss. Big Show seemed hard, but after getting used to the fighting, I managed to pick him up and throw him to the ground. May I repeat, my guy is fucking tiny. He's hardly 5 foot and this Big Show bloke is massive. There is no way in hell that my guy could have picked him up and chokeslammed him onto a set of metallic stairs. And that's when I laughed because it was all really stupid and really hilarious and I found myself having a bit of fun. It was really funny doing this. Although doing so is odd in this game, it's always fun to throw people around in an act of sport. So I fought a few fights and most of them I actually won. I got the WWE title after a short while of messing around and I generally wondered why the game appeared to be so easy. I mean, I gave my character pretty modest ratings, but a certain momentum meter increased my overall to a rather above par grade of 90, so I amped up the difficulty and still found it pretty bloody easy. Fighting became a bore. I finished opponents off easily and it was even less satisfying when they appeared before to be extremely tough, despite being knocked over as easily as a child on skates. So then I reduced my overall rating a little again, and after a few tweaks, fighting finally became fun again. I in fact found the perfect balance. Fights went on for quite a while with me and the opponent both kicking out of a few holddowns, and it was all rather good and jolly again. But this illustration is sort of wrong, since the wrestlers have faces that don't really animate. Something that really dragged me out of the experience was that the wrestlers seem to be faced as robots. Your opponents always start the match by walking directly towards you like a fucking Cyberman, and it all seems too inhuman. I thought these guys were supposed to be growing with character. I thought they would shout things at me and say that my mother was a lasagna and my father was made out of staples, and maybe then I'll feel more inclined to beat them up a little. Instead, we just get this uncharismatic figure walking towards you like some sort of robot. Only once did the character do something different, and I even remembered his name, Alberto Del Rio. It was a Mexican bloke with more thick tan than David fucking Dickinson, who started the match not by walking up to me like everybody else, but by doing a quick animation of waving his arms around as if to say, "Hey, look at this knobhead! I bet he's sexually attracted to me." But then again, who fucking isn't? I'm so attractive that even I pleasure myself to images of myself pleasuring myself. I tell you what, I liked him for doing it. He went against the crowd. He was the anomaly. He was the Sonny against all the other robots. He acted like an arsehole, so I wanted to kick his head in. Will I go back to it? Nah, seriously, it wasn't graphically impressive. The crowd cheered at awkward and unusual times. The storyline was cringy. The fighting really wasn't for me. And like I said, the robotic AI was a bummer. I realise now that the character customization is missing just that. Character. You can't really give your creations anything personal other than the different moves they can pull off and whether or not the crowd boos or cheers them. I want it to be a little more like The Sims, where you can give your character human traits like charisma, smugness, or rudeness. This way we don't make robots, instead we can make human people that are evil or funny or racist. I was hoping for the option to make my character an unfunny slob with no understanding of video games so I could call him DS fucking P. Or me!